Softball Championships Division 2, but we're starting in 10, so just text me and let me know if you're not getting anything from me, okay? Just wanted to check in with you and let you know. All right, thanks, bye. Hey, pan over, will you, Victor, to the, okay, and go wider just a touch. Yeah, if you want to put that on, if you want you to take that with you, or put that under something so it doesn't blow away. Sure. I'm going to have the, score bug at the top of my screen. Okay, so you're just so you know. Go ahead and widen out a little bit. Okay, go in a touch. All right, perfect. Yep. All right, as long as we got that pull out of there, then we're okay. All right. Great. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2, testing. I've got one channel. Why do I only have one channel? Can you hear me over there? No, I mean like through your headset? Oh, you can? Okay, good. Testing 1 2, but only one channel. Why only one channel? Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2 3 4. A beautiful day at the ballpark here in Sacramento, California. We are at the Sacramento Softball Complex, the site of the Division I, II, and III softball championships. Jeff Kurtz alongside Jared Hicks. We are at the Division II field as the Christian Brothers Falcons get set to take on the Casa Roble Rams. Jared, a beautiful day for softball here in Sacramento, California, and a double elimination game, but Casa Roble in the driver's seat. The home team in this one, a record of 24-5, and they have faced this Christian Brothers team before this year, having split the matchup between these two squads. What is on tap for today? What can we expect?
Well, anytime you have a big game like this, you expect a lot of intensity, a lot of focus. These two teams didn't get here by accident. They've played their best softball coming into this game tonight, and I wouldn't expect anything less than a highly competitive game from Casa Roble and Christian Brothers.
Folks, let's quickly get you the lineup as we are underway. And this one, before we can even get you a lineup, we've got a ball driven into the corner. This one is going to be a ground rule double. So before fans could even get settled into their seats, we could tell you what's going on. The leadoff hitter, Lucia Lopez, takes the first pitch she sees from Casa Roble and drives it into right field for a ground rule double.
Yeah, Kaylin Garcia on the mound today for Casa Roble. A strong right-handed pitcher. They're relying on her today to get a big win against this Christian Brothers team.
So just like that, we got ourselves a runner on second base before we can even take a breath. And let's go through the rest of the lineup first for Christian Brothers. Aaliyah Shimasaka Marquez now at the plate. Haley Snyder will be batting third. Terrence Siegel batting fourth. Kira McKechnie is going to be batting sixth. Antonia Hagalis is going to be batting seventh as this one gets away from the catcher, and down to third easily goes Lopez. A great start for Christian Brothers. The rest of the lineup includes Carly Nivens in the 7th spot, Sydney Chilamidos in the 8th spot, and Anissa Maldonado in the 9th spot. We got a 1-0 count right now on Shimasaka Marquez.
Couldn't ask for a better way to set up your start for Christian Brothers, to get a leadoff double on the first pitch of the game, then have a wild pitch from Garcia to advance down to third. So Christian Brothers really able to do some damage with no outs.
The pitch, this one's going to be bounced in the dirt. Nice stop by the backstop for Casa Roble. We'll get you the defensive alignment here on a 3-0 count coming up. So running into a little bit of trouble are the Rams in the early going. Defensively, Kaylin Garcia on the mound, and she is going to miss high, ball 4, and walks that batter. She's throwing behind the plate to Maya Reynolds. At first base is Kayla Marderos. At second base, Sammy Aguilar. The shortstop is Ali Aguilar. Third baseman, Crystal Aubert. The left fielder is Jamie Taylor. Center fielder, Mackenzie Kanabi. And the right fielder for Casa Roble, as here's a steal down to second base. They're trying to draw a throw home, and finally we're going to have the steal from Shimasaka Marquez. So she is down to second base on the steal, and we've got second and third for the number 3 hitter in the order. And that is Haley Snyder, who's going to drive one into center field. This is going to score 1, likely 2. The throw to the plate, not in time. And heading to second base is Haley Snyder, driving in 2 with a stinging single to center field.
Great piece of, I guess you could say aluminum, not quite wood, since they're using the aluminum bats here for Christian Brothers, as she just drilled that one straight away into center field to drive 2 runs home. And Casa already looks like they're going to call her out for diving headfirst in the plate, potentially.
Well, let's see what the call is here.
Correct.
As it's being discussed, Christian Brothers not too happy with the call there. Let's see, it looked like 2 runs in for the visitors.
Yeah, and you can see the manager, Chad Clay, out there to talk to the umpiring crew today to figure out what the call is going to be.
So 2 runs are in.
It looked like they called, was it Snyder out at second? I'm still not sure why they called her out.
It looked like she was in easily, but there is going to be 1 down, so 1 out. And nobody on, and the batter is Terrence Siegel. Those 2 RBIs will still be recorded to Snyder, however, and now she's going to take, that is Siegel, is going to take strike 1.
Well, that's got to be a big relief for Caitlin Garcia and Casa Roble, so that way you at least don't have to worry about another runner in scoring position. Maybe you can get out of this inning just giving up the 2 runs as you guys come to the plate, being the Rams, and try to answer back and even the score.
Yeah, that is a very quick start, Jared, for Christian Brothers, who's in with a record of 20-10. Head coach Chad Clay. Ken Kanabe leading this Casa Roble squad as the hit parade continues for Christian Brothers in the top of the first inning. A single to center field for Siegel, and there's another runner aboard. So the batter is Kira McKechnie. McKechnie, the starting first baseman for Christian Brothers, the 5th batter to hit in the inning for the Falcons, and she's going to take strike 1.
Yeah, you can see Christian Brothers, they're not wasting any time. They're taking a very aggressive approach, not necessarily looking to take pitches, but more if they see a pitch they like, they're swinging, and so far so good for them.
This one is going to be bounced up the middle, could be 2. Nice job by Casa Roble. Yes, double play. Erases Siegel, and McKechnie is retired for the 3rd out of the inning on the 5-3 double play ball. That ends the top half of the first. We move to the bottom of the first inning. The score is Christian Brothers 2 and Casa Roble coming up. Folks, while we now have a moment to take stock of the situation and get you all set up with the lineup for Casa Roble, let's give you the Rams batting order and give you the Christian Brothers defensive alignment. Ali Aguilar, the starting shortstop for Casa Roble, is going to bat first. Mackenzie Kanabe, the center fielder, will bat second. Crystal Aubert is going to be batting 3rd in the order. Caitlin Garcia will bat 4th. Maya Reynolds, the catcher, will be batting 5th. Kayla Merderos is the first baseman. She's batting 6th in the order. Sammy Aguilar is going to be batting 7th. Caitlin Fogel batting 8th. And Jamie Taylor will bat 9th. Meanwhile, for Christian Brothers, Haley Snyder out on the mound, working with a 2-0 advantage. She'll be throwing behind the plate to Antonia Hagalis. Over at first base is Kira McKechnie, second baseman Anissa Maldonado, shortstop Aaliyah Shimasaka Marquez, third baseman Terrence Siegel. And then going to the outfield, the left fielder is Sydney Chilamidos, the center fielder is Lucia Lopez, and the right fielder is Carly Nivens. Well, Casa Roble, it's interesting there, Jared. Usually you think teams, they're going to start out, they're going to take a lot of pitches, take a look at the pitcher. The leadoff hitter's design is to go out there and let her teammates see a number of pitches. And that was not Christian Brothers' strategy at all. Lucia Lopez barely waited for us to get going and finish our introduction, and she'd already doubled into the corner in right field, and that started a 2-run inning for the Falcons. When you are the visiting team, important to get off to a fast start, and it doesn't get much faster than that.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. Literally, as we're getting ready to announce the lineups and you're getting ready to go down the scorecard, we already have a ball in the right field corner from Casa Roble, from Christian Brothers. But that's what you have to do. You want to get those runs in on the board early, so that way you're putting the pressure on the home team. And they've been very aggressive. They haven't wasted a step. We'll see what Casa does in their half of the inning.
Here is a swing and a miss for strike 1 on Aguilar. Strike 2 on the second pitch of the inning. And a quick 0-2 count. So this is the exact opposite of what Christian Brothers was doing offensively in their half. This ball way high, and the count is now 1-2.
Yeah, and you can see with Aguilar looking to get that running start, she's the table setter. She's the big go-to player on this team. She really wants to get Casa and the Rams off on the right foot as she's taking these pitches.
This one's popped in the air, tailing toward foul territory. Nice job coming over and making the play. That's Chilamidos, and there is one away as the fly out to left field. In foul ground, Aguilar is retired. It's going to bring up Kanabe. Kanabe also batting from the left side. Coach's daughter. Her dad, Ken, in that third base box. Here's the first pitch to Kanabe, and she's going to take upstairs for ball one.
It's interesting already how you could see the two contrasting philosophies between these two teams. At least in this game, Christian Brothers has been really aggressive, swinging at the first thing that they see. As you have a strike on the outside corner to Kanabe for the 1-1 count. But for Casa Roble, they've really, into their second batter, they've really made sure to be patient, be selective of their pitches. As it's another strike, looks low and outside for a 1-2 count. This team is really trying to make sure that they find out what the pitcher and what this team wants to do before they go and take their hacks. So that way you're starting to build up a knowledge base as this, I guess you could say, this game goes along, and it makes it easier for them, seeing what kind of pitches are coming their way, and then also how they can get to this Christian Brothers team in not just this at-bat, but the innings to come. So you have a pitch on the outside again, this one just off the plate, so it's a 2-2 count to Kanabe as she goes up against Christian Brothers in the second batter of this inning with one down.
This one's going to be fouled away, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kanabe doing a nice job. Now this is more what you expect, Jared. You got to help your team see a lot of pitches, and Kanabe's certainly doing that right now.
Yeah, that's the best way you can get a knowledge base on a pitcher and see what kind of pitches, where she likes to throw them, or tendencies. You got to build up that pitch count, and that's exactly what Kanabe's doing now. Excellent job by Mackenzie as she's making Christian Brothers work for everything.
And battling back on Snyder. She was in a big hole. Now a 3-2 count. This one's going to be fouled down the left field line out of play. And you can see what she's trying to do with it as well. Just slap it over the third baseman's head and use her speed to beat it out.
Yeah, and you saw that too with Aguilar as she was going with a little bit of the running start to try to slap it the opposite way. They're really just trying to get some aluminum on the ball, get on base, and then you could cause some havoc from there. Nice
job is Kanabe keeping the at-bat alive. Fouls another one off. This is going to be beyond the left side bleachers on the third base side. In Little League, you used to have kids scrambling for a ball. You return it back to the snack bar, you got a Coke.
That's true.
I don't know if that's the case here today.
That is so true. I forgot about that.
If that's the case, I don't see any youngsters who have picked up on that particular deal, because usually a foul ball sends about a pack of 20 kids running after it. But instead, Casa Roble retrieved the ball, and now we've got a timeout.
That's funny how that happens.
Yes.
That's funny how that happens as you get older. You have the balls going to fair territory. You see the adults trying to get out of the way, whereas the kids are running to the ball trying to get all the action.
It's that no fear when you're under the age of 12. 3-2, 1 out in the inning. 2-0, Christian Brothers the early lead. And this one is going to be ball 4. Nice at-bat by Kanabe drawing the walk.
So you really see these styles, as we've mentioned early in the bottom half of the first inning, that Casa Roble, they really are trying to make sure that they take these pitches. They want to be patient. They want to build out Haley Snyder's her pitch count. So that way, as the game goes along, A, they can either get her out the game, or B, they can see what she has so they can get to her.
Crystal Aubert now the batter. Takes ball 1.
That's the one thing, if you are a casual fan of either baseball or softball, these two games, whereas in other sports they might be sprints, this one's a marathon. This is more chess than checkers.
That one was fouled off the fence and almost landed right back on Aubert. She just missed that one, Jared.
Yes, she really did.
Well, you're right. I mean, this is one where you can begin. A 2-0 deficit in the first inning. You can start chipping away here pretty quickly. If you get one up on the board, Casa Roble, it's a good, solid answer after Christian Brothers leapt out to that early lead. The 1-1, that's fouled straight back as well. And once again, just off on that one is Aubert.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that. You would think, getting off to the start that they had where it was 2 runs on the board, a runner on second before she was eventually called out, that, you might be in a lot of trouble for a big inning, but they were able to get out of the inning with only 2 runs, for the rest of the inning.
Here's a steal attempt. It's going to get into center field. Kanabe's going to stay put. Nice job backing up the play, the center fielder Lopez. But the steal puts a runner in scoring position, and Aubert took low, so the count is 2-2.
And so, just like you said, you have a 2-2 count now, and you have a runner in scoring position. with your third batter on at the plate and your cleanup hitter on deck, you have a chance to really, if not even the score, at least do some damage in this inning. To, as you say, you get one run, now you've chipped away.
The wind is blowing out to center field as well. And once again, Aubert right on top of it, and that's the third ball she's fouled straight back behind home plate.
Seems like she just might be getting under it a little bit, or just a little bit late on it, because like you said, it's not over to our side of behind the backstop. This is directly behind the plate.
That one is just a little bit in. Good eye, and the count is full.
For those wondering, we're kind of off center, I guess you could say, to the right side of the backstop and home plate.
Victor Adams providing all the video for us today for this Division II game. Division I and III also taking place at the Sacramento Softball Complex. The 3-2 pitch, and that is low ball 4. So 2 walks and runners at first and second for the cleanup hitter, and this is exactly what the doctor ordered for the Rams.
All about patience for the Rams, as they are proving that philosophy to a T right now. You have a runner in scoring position. You just had your runner take enough pitches to walk and get to first. So now let's see what Maya Reynolds can do.
Caitlin Garcia.
Caitlin Garcia.
This is the help yourself moment for the pitcher, where you've got runners in scoring position and you're trailing 2-0. She takes low ball 1.
This is a little bit of, I have to make up for that first inning, and no better way than to do it yourself.
That's a strike. As we're talking a lot about what Casa Roble is doing to get back in this game, Jared, but one thing, Haley Snyder trying to find a release point.
Yeah.
She's not missing by much, but she's walked 2 runners. This one fouled straight back, and you can tell that Casa Roble is right on it. They're just a little bit off right now.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up, because it's such a game of inches, baseball and softball. But with softball, I mean, you see the batters are just off, and with Snyder, seems like she's literally maybe an inch or 2 off the plate each pitch.
Rise ball is high, and the count is 2-2. Well, she's gone 3-2 on the last 2 batters, Kanabe and then Aubert, and walked them both. Now 2-2, only 1 out in the inning. Outfield's playing straight away, infield slightly to pull. This one is high, and the count goes 3-2. So good plate discipline by Casa Roble. They've been in these deficit pitchers' counts and worked their way back with some good plate discipline.
Yeah, and you've already seen Snyder already have a couple of 10-pitch at-bats already, so.
The 3-2. In the air, infield, nice job by the pitcher. Third baseman's going to grab that one. That was Siegel. And a good job by Snyder inducing the infield fly. And there's 2 away. Runners still at first and second. And the batter is Maya Reynolds. Reynolds, the catcher. Reynolds takes strike 1.
And, of course, in a situation like this, any contact on the ball, these runners are moving. No time to think about it at all. You need to get that run across the plate.
This one's going to be in the dirt and low. Nice pick by the catcher for Christian Brothers. That was a great scoop by Hagelis. 1-1. Entertaining first inning, but can Casa Roble respond to the Christian Brothers 2 spot? In the top half of the first, that's a swing and a miss, and the count's 1-2. And once again, Snyder has got a ram in a pitcher's count. So far in those situations, she's walked 2 and gotten a pop out. The 1-2, this one's going to be high, and the count's 2-2.
So it's interesting when you think about all these long, drawn-out at-bats that Snyder's had, but considering that she's in a 2-2 count right now with 2 down, very good composure by her part just to chip away.
This one swung on and missed. Strike 3, so Snyder gets herself in a jam and then gets herself right out of it. Two runners stranded on base by the Rams in the first inning, and it's 2-1 our score after 1. You're following the action here on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
We also want to remind you that do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here today? Tell your school to sign up for the PlayOnSports.com broadcast program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, be sure to go to PlayOnSports.com/SBP.
Jeff Kurtz alongside Jared Hicks as we get ready for the top half of the second inning. And so far, Christian Brothers has managed to dodge an opportunity for Casa Roble to get themselves back in this game. It is still a 2-0 ball game. It's going to be Hagelis, Nivens, and Chilamitos, the scheduled hitters for the Falcons, to face Caitlin Garcia in the top of the second inning. So both teams got 5 batters to the plate, but Christian Brothers was able to capitalize with 2 runs of their own. And we still have a long way to go in this 7-inning softball game. And Casa Roble has the benefit that if they do lose this first one, they are going to get an opportunity to play again. Christian Brothers has got to win 2 today in order to claim the title, whereas Casa Roble just needs to win 1.
Yeah, it's obviously the interesting setup with the double elimination, but obviously Christian Brothers responding to the challenge early as they didn't waste any time getting any runs on the board in that top half of the first.
So here come the Falcons, and stepping in from the right-hand side, the first pitch is going to be bounced, a one-hopper to the third baseman. Nice quick toss over by Aubert to Marderos, and she's going to retire Hagelis on a quick 5-3 put-out for the first out of the inning. But once again, first pitch swinging on the part of Christian Brothers. Are you a little bit surprised by that, Jared?
Not with the way that we saw that first inning play out. You saw their leadoff hitter, I believe it was Lopez, come up with that double to start the game on the first pitch. But it wasn't just her. It was the majority of the batters. They were really aggressive. So wasn't too surprised with these first pitches getting swung on by the Falcons.
Count now 1-1. 1 down the inning. We're in the top of the second. This one's going to be bounced towards short. A couple of hops, nicely fielded, and a quick toss over. And Carly Nivens is retired. That was Ali Aguilar making that play. 6-3 on the putout, and they're 2 away.
And I think the other thing, too, now that I think about it, Jeff, when you have the setup that you have now with Christian Brothers having to win this first game so they can play the second game and have to win that one to win it, you have to manufacture that offense early to put some pressure on Casa, them being the home team, because – you know, if you give this team any chance to either get up on you or keep the game, you know, in a tie where it's close, you know, per se, that puts all the pressure back on you being the home team. If you lose, you're out, and you know that's nervous for these young high school girls to really, you know, try to battle in addition to your opponent. That's tough for anybody, really.
Sydney Chilamitos has looked at 2 off-speed pitches and taken 2-0 is the count. 2 down in the inning. Certainly been a much easier road for Garcia on the mound this time. And here's another grounder to the shortstop. Tricky last hop, but a great job staying with it was Aguilar. And 3 ground balls to the left side, and that ends the top of the second inning. So 3 up, 3 down. And that was, like I said, a much easier affair for Garcia in the top of the second inning, given what happened in the top of the first.
Yeah, that top of the first inning, they got to her quick, but again, you know, it was the same approach by Christian Brothers. This time it was just, instead of going to the outfield, those balls are going directly to your infielders, and Casa Roble did a great job of putting them out.
So for the Rams, they're going to send up Kayla Marderos, Sammy Aguilar, and Caitlin Fogel, the designated player, and then perhaps Jamie Taylor at the bottom of the order to face Haley Snyder. The Rams had 2 base runners in the first inning. If you're just joining us, Jeff Kurtz alongside Jared Hicks. We are live at the Sacramento Softball Complex on a beautiful day here in Sacramento. We have been out here when it has been warmer, that is for sure. And it is not cool today, but it is pleasant. And a great day for softball as the softball season concludes in the Sac-Joaquin section. But we got baseball coming your way on Memorial Day from Lodi, Zupo Field, and from Sacramento City College. Divisions 1 through 7 going to be playing on Memorial Day, and we'll hope you'll join us for that here on PlayOnSports.com.
Yeah, you know, it's as you've mentioned, a beautiful day here in Sacramento, 73 degrees. about right now with, as you mentioned, the wind dying down a little bit, but was blowing in from the outfield, from center field. You know, Memorial Day coming up, it's gonna start to warm up a little bit more. So hopefully everybody's got their tank tops and T-shirts and shorts ready.
And their sunscreen.
Right. Bring some sunglasses and a hat.
This pitch is going to be low, and the count is 1-0. These two teams battled to a 2-1. Casa Roble win in their first meeting this year, and then Christian Brothers won at 9-0 in their second. So there's a strike to Marderos. So not a lot of runs have been forthcoming for Casa Roble. They haven't scored more than 2. Christian Brothers has been very offensive. Wow, that pitch was high on Shaq, much less on Marderos. And the count is going to be 2-1.
But I'll say this for Snyder. If you're going to let a pitch get away, you might as well let it happen with no one on base.
Way away.
And way away, exactly.
Yeah, not a prayer. You don't want to leave one in Marderos' hitting zone, and Marderos could have been standing on a ladder, and that would have been out of her hitting zone. Here's another one fouled straight back. That's 3 different hitters now who we've seen for Casa Roble just missing.
Yeah, the ball getting just on top of the bat, but it's exactly like you said. It's coming directly back to the backstop, you know, almost going over.
You wonder if on the second go-around, if the fastball from Snyder is rising just a little bit, a natural rise. There's a pitch, strike 3, her second strikeout of the game, both swinging, consecutive batters, and there's one down in the inning. But that was a situation there where it wasn't a rise ball that takes a dramatic from the knees to maybe the shoulders, but almost a natural rise to her fastball because Casa Roble seems to be just underneath it, and it could be that ball's getting a late break up.
Yeah, it's interesting. It almost like, I guess an equivalent would be like a two-seam fastball in a way where it's not naturally cutting away, but it kind of does at the last minute.
Here's a pop-up to first base, a nice range by McKechnie, and Sammy Aguilar is retired on the pop-up to first, and there's 2 down in the inning. And that will bring Caitlin Fogel to the plate.
You can see this Christian Brothers team, Jeff, though. They're very confident about what they can do against this Rams team from Casa Roble. They, obviously have a 9-0 win, but, to be able to keep it close in a 2-1 loss, they feel like, they have as good a shot as any of winning this game and, taking their chances in the second.
First pitch was a ball. 2 down in the inning, nobody on. Foul tipped into the glove. Nice squeeze by our catcher, Hagelis. And the count's 1-1. Popped foul behind the third base dugout. And the count's now 1-2. No one's got, and you can even see the spin on the baseball when it's being fouled off. It's not a lot of drive to that thing. A lot of backspin in a reverse direction. And that's, once again, an indicator they're just underneath it are the Rams. You saw it in that pop-up. This one, there's the rising fastball, and down on strikes goes Fogel. And both pitchers enjoy a comfortable 1-2-3 inning. We move to the top of the third inning. You're following the action here on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
Folks, want to let you know Play on Sports, is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at Play on Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school sports action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
So we move to the top of the third inning, and this will bring up for Christian Brothers the bottom of the order, Anissa Maldonado, then back to the top, Lucia Lopez and Aliyah Shimasaka Marquez. Meanwhile, Casa Roble back out on the mound for another inning of work. Caitlin Garcia back out there. And we'll see if Christian Brothers can do a little bit better job than they did the last inning, though up 2-0. It was a 1-2-3 inning for them the last time around. And this is Maldonado, the second baseman, stepping in from that right-hand side. We're in the top of the third inning, 2-0 Christian Brothers. If Christian Brothers wins, we'll play another. This one is going to be fouled back, strike one. Asking for time is Maldonado. And she's going to drive one over the third baseman's head, and that's going to be a single to left. So a nice job getting, it's almost like having a second leadoff hitter sometimes at 9 spot in the order, and Maldonado singles, and the leadoff hitter aboard for the second time in the ball game for Christian Brothers.
Yeah, just a little too high for Aubert that time. She couldn't quite get to it, and the ball stayed fair. It was slicing towards that foul line, but stayed fair. Another leadoff hitter, as you mentioned, Jeff, for Christian Brothers as they look to add to this lead.
Lucia Lopez, the batter. And she did not waste any time. Took the first pitch she saw and doubled into the right field corner, came around to score the first run of the game for the Falcons. She's showing bunt. She drops it down. She's going to be retired on the sacrifice. And actually, no, the ball hit her.
Yeah, I think the ball hit her as soon as she got outside the batter's box.
Right, so that's going to be an out without the sacrifice. So one down in the inning.
It's a great break to have for Casa because instead of having one down with a runner in scoring position, now you have one down with that runner still stranded on first base.
And the number 2 hitter in the order coming up. Once again showing bunt but taking a strike. This time is Shimasaka Marquez. So we've got a runner at first. Shimasaka Marquez walked, stole a base, and then came around to score on the 2 RBI single by Haley Snyder, who's in the on-deck circle. So you can see why Christian Brothers is willing to sacrifice or at least make the attempt 2 batters in a row. Snyder had a sharp single up the middle and would likely score Maldonado, who's got pretty good speed if Maldonado were to be at second base with 2 down.
Yeah, it's just like you said, that number 9 hitter, it almost plays as another leadoff hitter. You want a person that's able to get contact on the ball and also has some speed. And
this one's going to be fouled back, and the count's now 0-2.
You can clearly see that Christian Brothers, they're trying to get another run on the board this half inning at any cost.
Well, if you can get up 3-0.
That really puts the pressure on.
Though now you wonder if Coach Clay is going to take the signal off at third base. It's swing away time. This one's going to be high. So, if you're really committed to it, you might as well. I mean, I know convention says you don't want to bunt foul for strike 3, but if you really want to get that runner over, why not? And stay out of the double play, though. Shimasaka Marquez also has good speed. The count now 2-2.
Yeah, that's an interesting approach, too, because, as you said, the last thing you want to have happen is a situation where you have that double play ball and then your inning's done. So, I am a little bit surprised that he took it off. But
well, then, of course, there's the single to right field, and a nice job. Boy, that ball spun back on the left fielder, Taylor, who almost overran it, but the job is done by Shimasaka Marquez. She singles to right and moves the runner into scoring position, first and second, with 1 out.
Funny how those things kind of work themselves out.
Yeah, really.
Situations like that.
We're overthinking it up here, I think, at least according to Shimasaka Marquez.
Right.
What do you mean, gentlemen? I don't need to lay a bunt down here. We should have done this from the beginning.
Right into the gap, so.
Nice job by Taylor staying with the play to keep the ball in front of her. If that gets by, Maldonado may score. We've got the temporary fence up in the outfield. This is also a adult softball league venue. And you've got the much larger fence further back, 300 to center field.
300 all the way around.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're staying with the obvious metrics in the half circle out there. Haley Snyder, the batter, 1 for 1 with 2 runs batted in and a foul ball for strike 1. So a little bit of trouble right now for Garcia. She was in a pretty similar situation the first inning, except she had second and third when Snyder was at the plate. Snyder was ultimately tagged out at second base, trying to extend the play after the throw came home. This ball is just a little bit low, and the count is 1-1.
And even though you're going to look at the end of this game on the scoreboard and obviously see the difference in runs per inning or the hits per inning, Christian Brothers has still pretty much been the same. Every single inning, half inning, they've been able to get get the bat on the ball on Garcia. It's just been a matter of, are they able to get it deep enough or further enough away from these infielders to get some runners on base?
Snyder has yet to yield a hit. This one is going to be hit foul down the right field line and out of play behind the fence. Giving chase was Naomi Terrazas. And the count's 2-2. How big would it be here for Garcia to get a strikeout on the number 3 hitter?
Monumental, I think, just for her own confidence.
This one is going to be ball 3, however. And the count is full.
Obviously, sorry about that, Jeff, but obviously you want to get any batter out, but in this situation, if you could get Snyder out.
Well, this is a deep drive to left field, but playable. And holding at second is Maldonado. So Taylor retires Snyder on the fly out to deep left field, and there are 2 down in the inning.
She's had a lot of action out there in this half inning going after that ball. As you mentioned, almost overran it, and on that slicing hit to the gap in left center, but able to retire Snyder there, and now she's putting her pitcher in a situation where it's still tense with 2 runners on base with 1 runner in scoring position, but very manageable to try to get out, just focus on the batter.
Poke to center field. This one's playable as well. Garcia has worked her way out of it. A fly out to center on the first pitch Siegel saw. That ends the inning, retired by Kanabi. We move to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The score remains Christian Brothers 2, Casa Roble nothing. And as we look at the bottom of the 3rd inning, we'll keep it right here on PlayOnSports.com. Casa Roble is going to have Jamie Taylor at the bottom of the order, and then back to the top, and Ali Aguilar and Mackenzie Kanabi. We are at the Sacramento Softball Complex in Sacramento, California. And we are in the middle of our Blitz Week here in terms of our spring coverage around the state of California. We started last Saturday with softball and baseball in the northern section, softball in the Sac-Joaquin section. We were doing divisions 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yesterday we had track in Oakland, the Trans-Bay Softball Championship, best 2 out of 3. Lowell defeats Oakland Tech. That's between the San Francisco City section and the Oakland sections. We got a baseball game going on in the central section before we hit the softball finals tomorrow down in the Fresno area, and baseball to follow the next day. And then, of course, we've got Sac-Joaquin section baseball on Memorial Day. So if you like high school sports and you want to see some good events, track, softball, baseball, lacrosse, and soccer even in the North Coast section on Saturday, you are going to be camped out on our website all weekend long and all week long.
And you can't ask for much better settings for these games, too. Springtime nearly coming to an end in the next few weeks, summer coming around, all these kids, getting ready to either finish school for the year or already ending and just finishing out their seasons. Can't ask for a better time of the year than right now, especially watching these games as you have Christian Brothers and Casa Roble right now on PlayOnSports.com.
Snyder starts Taylor off with strike 1. The second pitch, this is going to be runted foul into the screen behind us. Not only that, we are at some tremendous venues this week. I mean, I know we're talking softball today and we're in the Sac-Joaquin section, Jared, but we are going to be at UC Berkeley's Memorial Stadium for the track championships for the North Coast section. And just for the view alone, folks, you should tune in for at least 10 to 15 minutes of that one. This one is going to be slapped foul down the first base side. And the count remains 0-2 on the left fielder Taylor, who had 2 nice plays last inning, ranging to her left to snare a fly ball from Haley Snyder with runners at first and second, and actually holding runners at first and second when the ball spun back on her. She almost overran it, but did a nice job getting the glove on it. Now swing and a miss on a rising fastball, and that is the 4th K of the game for Haley Snyder, 1 down in the inning.
And you were talking about Memorial Stadium for track. That's recently renovated.
That's right. That's the newly renovated Memorial Stadium. We will be there for that on Friday and Saturday. Now back to the top of the order. Aguilar is trying to slap one down the left field line, and it's going to be foul. Aguilar flew out to left in her first at-bat. 0 for 1.
Yeah, with Aguilar, it's no question what she's looking to do. Get that ball and slap it to the opposite field. Get on base.
She's going to take strike 2.
Looked like she was showing butt there as well.
Right now, Snyder is pitching a gem. She struggled a little bit with a release point in the first inning, but has been nailed since. Here's a delivery. Bounced up the middle. It's going to be tough. This is an infield single. They had her played in the hole. The shortstop, Shimasaka Marquez, was well towards third base. Came back and kept the ball in the infield, but that is the first hit of the game and an infield single for Aguilar. So 1 on, 1 out, and the first pitch to Kanabe, who walked and stole second and was stranded there, is going to be fouled down the left field line, strike one.
So now that you have that runner on base, if you're Casa, Jeff, do you still just trying to play the ball away to the opposite field, or are you thinking bunt here just to move Aguilar over?
Well, and actually there's the steal. Well, now you don't need to do
Don't
the bunt
have to worry
at all.
about it.
Nice job. Your question's been answered.
There you go.
Aguilar's making me look like a genius, whatever I was about to say. The count's now 1-1 as Aguilar makes that a moot point. On the steal, the count 1-1. This is low and in the dirt, and it's now 2-1.
So just as we were mentioning, Christian Brothers having, I won't necessarily say a stranglehold on this game, but a very good start, and Snyder pitching a gem so far.
That was her first hit that she just gave up a moment ago. Kanabe might have swung at ball 3, and now the count's even at 2-2. You could kind of tell from her body language after that she's like, why was I swinging at that?
Yes.
But that is so tough to figure that out on the way to the plate. You've got to calculate that quickly, and a ball going from your knees to your elbow or to your shoulders. This one slapped in the hole. It's going to get under Shimasaka Marquez. And staying put is Aguilar as the ball quickly went out to the left fielder, Chilamitos. That was one there where if Aguilar goes, she could be caught in no man's land. If Shimasaka Marquez makes that play, you might get the out at third base. So she did the safe play and stayed at second. So now they're runners at first and second with 1 out, and you got your 3, 4, 5 hitters coming up.
Yeah, and I think that's a valid point. Unless she's already running on the pitch, there's no reason to chance that because Chilamitos was playing a bit shallow at the time anyways.
And here's the steal to third, and it's going to get thrown into the outfield. Coming home and scoring is Aguilar with the first run of the game for Casa Roble, and down to third goes Kanabe. What a great bit of execution base running on the part of Casa Roble to make this a 2-1 game.
It's funny how you just mentioned that. Staying might have been the best thing for her, now putting the pressure on Snyder as you have Coach Clay going out to talk to his pitcher.
Well, I first thought, why is Aubert, your 3-hitter, turning to bunt? But it drew the third baseman in.
Right.
The runner goes. Shimasaka Marquez had scooted back more towards her standard shortstop spot, given that Aubert is not going to spray the ball to the opposite side, or she's likely to hit it back up the middle.
Right.
So Shimasaka Marquez couldn't get over to third base in time. The ball ends up in left field, and you've just manufactured yourself a run.
And that's what you have to do by any means. This has been a patient Casa team. They're capitalizing now on the mistakes of Christian Brothers. And now, with a runner on third, you said it. You have your 3, 4, 5 hitters, and then they're raring to go.
And Aubert was just missing in her first at-bat against Snyder. You've got the outfield deep, so a ball into the outfield is going to tie this one up at 2 if you get it in the air with a sacrifice fly. Or you could just rip it down the line, as Aubert did, and that goes foul. Once again, we're giving advice from up here, and the player is probably wisely or fortunately not able to hear us because they're doing the exact opposite of what we're recommending. I'm thinking sacrifice fly, and Aubert's thinking stinging double into the left field corner.
Yeah, so you can see the infield playing close to the bag. That middle of the field is wide open.
This one's bounced in the dirt, and the count's 2-1. And really, you could put Aubert on, but that just puts Caitlin Garcia at the plate, your 4-hitter.
Right.
And likely Aubert's going to run, so you have second and third with just 1 out. Still a ways to go before that, however. 2-1 count favors Aubert. The pitch, she's going to take a strike right down the middle of the plate. And the count's even at 2-2. Nice pitch there by Snyder.
And I've mentioned this earlier in the game. You got to love the poise by Snyder. Every time she seems like some adversity's coming her way, she always rebounds with the next batter. So we'll see how this one finishes out, but nice poise by her.
Oh, this is ripped right over the third baseman's head for a single, and the run is in. Auburn, my goodness. That was hit so quickly that the third baseman, Siegel, didn't even have time to react. She bent down to jump, and the ball was already in left field and being picked up by Chilamitos.
Excellent adjustment by Crystal Albert on that one. You saw on I want to say it was 2 pitches earlier where she had drilled the ball down the left field line, but out of play foul. She adjusted to it, got to the ball a little bit earlier as she goes for the steal attempt and gets it.
Yep, she's into second base. This is a good inning right now for Casa Roble. They've tied the game in the bottom of the third, and they've got another runner in scoring position with your cleanup hitter up, and the count 1-0.
They've got everything going for them. A runner in scoring position. You mentioned their power hitter, their cleanup hitter at the plate, and these Rams fans are behind them now.
This is up and in, and the count is 2-0. Now you could pitch around Garcia and go with Reynolds, who struck out swinging in her first at-bat. 0 for 1 is Garcia. She popped to third in the first inning. Here's the 2-0. She's going to take strike one on a little bit of an off-speed pitch. Good change of pace by Snyder.
She's done a good job of that today, whether with her rise ball or just with her fastball rising and being able to change speeds and change levels of the batters.
This one is going to be low, and the count is 3-1, and a big-time hitters count right here, Jared.
Yeah, this is up to Garcia. I'm pretty sure she has the green light at this point. If she sees something she really wants to get some of the bat on.
A 3-1. Up and in, ball 4. That's the third walk that has been given up by Snyder in the ball game, and we got runners at first and second now, and the batter is Maya Reynolds, who struck out swinging in the first inning to conclude that inning.
So it's just like you mentioned, it's not necessarily the worst thing for Garcia, as it looks like they're going to have a designated runner come on.
That's going to be Lynn Coburn, who's going to come in and run. So Coburn is running for Garcia, the courtesy runner for the pitcher. So Coburn's over at first. Aubert on at second. The batter is Reynolds. Got a lot of options here if you're Coach Ken Kanabe. Only one out in the inning. Corner's cheating in, and Reynolds is going to take outside for ball 1. So Christian Brothers is thinking bunt, but Reynolds doesn't show bunt, at least on the first pitch. The 1-0 swung on and missed as Reynolds a little bit late on that pitch, and its count is 1-1.
Yeah, you could say, you could see, as you mentioned earlier, those corners cheating in, especially going against this lefty bat. McKechnie at first base, almost seemed like she was halfway to home plate herself.
There's the bunt up in the air, though, and this is going to be caught. All runners retreating. Nice job, Snyder, bouncing on that. 2 outs in the inning. And the batter is Kayla Marderos. Marderos struck out to lead off the second inning, 0 for 1. Big opportunity, though, with a base hit by Marderos. Aubert's going to be running on contact. She could score. Outfield is shifting over to right for Marderos. The first pitch is hit to left. And with a beat on it and pulling it in easily is Chilamitos to end the inning. But not before Casa Roble ties things up. They get 3 hits. They strand 2. We have reached 3 complete, and the score is 2-2 Christian Brothers and Casa Roble.
Folks, we want to remind you we'll have live coverage of the Sac-Joaquin Section Baseball Championships on Memorial Day, May 27th. Our Play on Sports crew will be at Sacramento City header, so get your grill going at home and sit down and watch the games. Full day coverage of baseball in the Sac-Joaquin Section on Memorial Day. Brought to you by your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com.
Folks, we also stream the games live on YouTube. So if you're out and about and you want to watch the game on your phone, go for it. Go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/playonnetwork, and you can watch the game there. put the game up on your big screen, set up in your garage, be outdoors grilling. I'm actually getting myself excited about doing that.
There is no better way than to have, America's pastime, beautiful sunny day on the unofficial start of the summer. You can't have it any other way. Get the grill going, get the, whether you about the lemonade, the sodas, or, the beverages of your choice.
Oh, I haven't had dinner yet either.
Oh, man, I'm telling you. I'm sorry.
I think we're salivating over the microphones now. They may not work through the entire game if we keep up that kind of conversation. Kira McKechnie, Antonia Hegelis, and Carly Nivens are the scheduled hitters for Christian Brothers. In the top of the fourth inning, we are all tied at 2.
I will say this. If it gets to a point where it's too dire for either one of us, Jeff, the fortunate thing, the snack bar is not too far away.
That's right. One down. Make that 1-0 as the first pitch of ball to McKechnie. The 1-0 delivery. That is driven to center. What a catch! Mackenzie Kanabe grabs the low line drive in center field on her knees for the first out of the inning.
That ball was a laser hit to left field, or to center field, straight on, Looked like it was going to drop, but Kanabe, just a diving catch on her knees to get the first put out of the inning. What a play by her.
This pitch is going to one-hop the catcher, ball 1. One down in the inning. We're in the top of the fourth. Garcia delivers, and this is a soft one right back to Garcia on a hop. She's going to underhand it over to first base to Marderos, and there are 2 away.
That's the one thing we've seen with Garcia this entire day, Jeff. The Christian Brothers batters, they've been able to get the bat on the ball, but it seems like she's a lot more relaxed out there knowing that she doesn't have to battle from behind.
This is a pop-up from Carly Nevins. First pitch. It's going to go to the shortstop, and you like nothing better after tying the game up yourself, Jared, than to get a 1-2-3 top half of the inning and get right back up to bat. Aguilar records the final out, and we move to the bottom of the fourth inning. Outstanding inning for Garcia on the hill.
Yeah, Garcia, they've been able to get to her quick as Christian Brothers, but this time giving the batters enough to get, I guess you could say, get the bat on the ball, but not enough to do anything with it. And that 1-2-3 inning, big for her, as no momentum has been lost or will be wasted as far as opportunities for Casa Roble to keep the run train going.
Sammy Aguilar, Caitlin Fogel, and Jamie Taylor, the 7, 8, 9 hitters in the order for Casa Roble, will be coming to the plate in the bottom of the fourth inning. 2 runs on 3 hits and 1 error. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors for Casa Roble. Meanwhile, Christian Brothers has 2 runs on 5 hits. They've committed 1 error. This is the Division II level in the Sac-Joaquin section. Division 1 and 3 playing behind us. Division 1 in particular has been quite boisterous. You might be hearing some cheering from throughout the day. Vaguely in the background, folks, almost like we're at a golf tournament and Tigers doing something great on the 9th while we're over here on the 4th. But there's been a lot of activity in those games, and invite you to check those out. If all of these games are double elimination games, so if the home team loses, there will be a second game being played. Here's the first pitch. Popped in the air right back towards us, over our head. I hope you brought your glove, Jared. We might have to catch one here before all said and done. And it's 0-1 on Aguilar.
Might have to take off my glasses. These are a pretty penny to get. I can't afford for them to get smacked in the face.
I'm holding the clipboard. I can't help you at all. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's fouled straight back again off the fence. Boy, Casa Roble has been just missing on some of these offerings from Snyder.
And it seems like it's been every batter. They're getting the same result where it's straight to the backstop, almost going over, sometimes going over the backstop. If they could just get that perfect timing where they see the ball coming right to their bat, they could do some damage on Snyder, because she's giving them opportunities to get some good hits.
Yeah, you wonder where that timing starts to kick in for Casa Roble. Count now 1-2 on a pitch that was way high. Aguilar going to take another one in the same spot, and it's 2-2.
And the other thing that is funny when you brought that up that I'm wondering is how long is Snyder going to be able to go? She had that long first inning, even though she got out of it unscathed on the scoreboard. But this Casa Roble team, they've been taking their pitches and trying to build up a database and a pitch count for Snyder this entire game.
Well, she strikes out Aguilar on a nice fastball, and that's where she's been most effective, is on those two-strike, slightly rising fastballs. That is her 5th strikeout of the game, and the batter is Caitlin Fogel, who was one of those strikeout victims back in the second inning. She's 0 for 1. She's going to take high for ball 1.
That's got to be tough for the batters to see because, as you mentioned earlier, it's not the rise ball, but it just rises just so slightly to get over the top of your bat that you just whiff on it.
That's why Casa Roble has been fouling him straight back instead of lining him up the middle. That one's going to be pop foul. There's another one just like that. And the count is even at 1-1. Outfield is shading Fogel well to right. In fact, if Nivens gets any further into that corner, she's going to be in the snack bar.
That's true. I mean, you see the shift over there.
Yeah, she can't get over much closer than that.
No, not at all.
Here's the 1-1 pitch from Snyder. That is pop foul behind home plate again, and the count is 1-2.
Yeah, just to put that in perspective, Taylor, the left fielder, if she goes over anymore, you might as well have 2 center fielders.
Yes, this is like the old Barry Bonds shift.
Correct.
In the opposite.
Correct. The mirror of the Barry Bonds, just in reverse.
So interestingly, the shortstop, Shimasaka Marquez, is in the hole at short. So there's a big opening up the middle right here. But it is all for naught as Fogel goes down swinging for the second time in the game, and there are 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, you don't see that shift too often where you have that hole through the middle, but they're playing the outfield to one specific the part of the outfield, so to say.
Jamie Taylor now the batter. She struck out in the 3rd. Leading off the inning is showing bunt here, pulls back, pops one foul behind home plate. Casa Roble is peppering this fence, and there are a crowd right behind us, or right next to us.
Fortunately for some of the people, because I don't see too many gloves, they've been going over the stands, but there's been some action over here from the Rams fans.
This one is outside, and the count's 1-1. Of the 6 strikeouts recorded by Snyder so far in this game, all of them have come from the 5th spot in the order down. So 1, 2, 3, 4 have been pretty effective, but the lower half of the order has been struggling a little bit against Snyder, and this pitch is going to be inside 2-1. As Taylor maybe trying to work a 2-out walk. She's showing bunt here. I don't know if she's going to leave that out. She's going to foul this right in the dirt by the plate, and the count's now even at 2-2.
Had that stayed in play, that might as well have been a swinging bunt. How little the ball moved. Seemed like it just kind of went right to her foot and died before it rolled back out of play.
The pitch popped in the air, infield playable for the third baseman in fair territory. The grab by Siegel, and that will end the inning. 3 up, 3 down for both teams. Nice response by Christian Brothers. We move to the top of the 5th inning in a game that's moving very quickly here at the Division II level. The score remains tied 2-2. Casa Roble hosting Christian Brothers.
Want to remind you to stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com postgame show, where we will select our player of the game. That's coming up immediately following the game between Casa Roble and Christian Brothers on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
Jeff Kurtz alongside Jared Hicks. Victor Adams providing all the video for you today in the Division II Championship. If we are forced into a second game today, that post-game show is going to be a quick one. Jared and I are going to come on. Here's your player of the game. Folks, we've got to get ready for the next game because they are not going to be sparing much time between the 2 games. That second game tentatively scheduled to begin at 7:30. But they could start earlier. We started this game at 5 o'clock, Jared. We're just a shade short of 6, and we're in the 5th inning.
I'm saying this one has been moving. There's been no wasted time by either of these teams.
Well, and I can tell you a lot of that is Christian Brothers swinging early in counts.
Oh, yeah. They have been, as I mentioned earlier in this game, they have been aggressive from the start. You could tell that It seems like Coach Chad Clay has told his team, if you see a pitch that you like, swing on it, because it might not be there deeper into the count. And that's what they've done as they jumped out to that early 2-0 lead, now the game being tied.
Sydney Chilamitos to lead things off for Christian Brothers, and she's going to take one deep to right field, fading on it, and pulling it in is Terrazas. Not an easy play, going to her right, hits the fence and makes the grab and saves a double.
Yeah, you could see that ball headed for the right center field gap as Terrazas just was going back, as you mentioned, to her right to get the catch. This has been a fabulous job by her in right field.
That's the first ball that was hit her way, and after a long 4-inning lull, she gets pressed into action and makes a great play for the first out of the inning. The batter is now Anissa Maldonado, the number 9 spot in the order for the Falcons.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that with the post-game show. If this game keeps going at the rate it's going, we might not have to wait till 7:30. We might have enough time to do the show, get some Skittles, and then get right back on the air for Game 2.
2-0 is the count on Maldonado. It must be nearing dinner time, folks. There's been a lot of food conversation in this broadcast between you and me.
And it's as you mentioned. You said you didn't have lunch. I don't think I had breakfast, so dinner might be coming early for both of us, at least on the mind.
We've been slaving over hot microphones all day. Here's a 3-0 count coming up with one down in the inning. Don't want to walk Maldonado with the leadoff hitter Lopez on deck. And has had some success on Garcia. This one is going to be ripped foul. Whew. Behind the third base dugout, 3-1. One down on a great catch by Terrazas. We're in the top of the 5th, tied at 2. Garcia does not hesitate, and ball 4. Just off the plate. So there's a runner on, and the batter is going to be Lopez.
Yeah, the Rams fans didn't like that one too much, but from our vantage point, looked like it was just a little bit off the plate. And Christian Brothers gets another runner on board as top of the order comes back around.
Maldonado's now reached base twice. She's 1 for 1 with a walk. Lopez, trying to bunt in her last at-bat, was hit by the ball in fair territory and was ruled out. And Maldonado had to go back to first base. This pitch is a ball 1-0, and I like the strategy there by Garcia, missing outside the zone because Lopez has tried to bunt and also swung at the first pitch and doubled to begin the game. So give her something outside of the zone and see if you could force her hand. But now a 2-0 count and a hitter's count for the leadoff hitter for Christian Brothers.
And that's, I guess, the double-edged sword of that. If she swings on those pitches and shows her hand, then it works out in your favor. But if she does what Lopez was able to do, be patient, have that good eye, be the exact opposite of what she's been the entire game, start to become a little bit more patient and conservative, now you've put yourself in a hole that you have to battle back from.
Ken Kanabe has sent his pitching coach out to the mound to talk things over with Caitlin Garcia. So we've got one down in the inning, a runner at first base. Lopez has not shown bunt. She has got a 2-0 count. Lopez 1 for 2 in the game. That walk was the first runner that Garcia had yielded in her last 6 batters. So she'd retired 6 in a row before the walk by Maldonado. And now, between Maldonado and Lopez, she has thrown 6 balls and just 1 strike. This pitch, that's ball 3.
You can see those corners really playing in. They don't want to take a chance with Lopez trying to bunt potentially her way on.
Well, with Maldonado in a 3-0 count, she had the green light to swing away. Here, Lopez also has the green light to swing away and swings and misses. Boy, Coach Clay is playing this very aggressively today, and I got to say I like it.
I agree. There's no time to waste. This is, as they say, win or go home.
Inside corner, strike 2.
And I like the aggression. It's not been about playing not to lose. It's been we're playing to win, and we're playing to force Casa Roble's hand the entire afternoon.
Here's the 3-2 delivery towards third. Could be a double play ball or at least one. Over to first, not in time. As Lopez with very good speed. You'd have to hit the ball a lot harder than that to get her, but a fielder's choice. 2 out in the inning. The runner at first base is now Lopez, and it's the number 2 hitter in the order, Aaliyah Shimasaka Marquez, who is 1 for 2 today. A walk, a stolen base, a run scored, and a single. She has been busy.
to say the least.
She steps in the left-hand side, way up in the box, Jared. Look at that. Her front foot, she fouls that one off the front foot, is right on the edge of the chalk in the front of the batter's box.
Yeah, she's making sure she gets to that ball, if not the minute it gets to home plate, right before it gets to home plate. When you say on top of it, her back foot is in front of home plate right now.
The pitch, the rise ball high. So clearly she's not afraid of Garcia's fastball and wants to get in front of any breaking pitch before it breaks, or a rise ball before it rises too much. Here's the 1-1 up the middle. That's going to get through for a base hit. Lopez will hold at second base. As quickly on top of that is Kanabi. And their runners at first and second with 2 outs.
So now the pressure goes back to Garcia, something that she probably hasn't felt since, the third inning?
Yep, correct, when she had first and second with 1 out.
Yeah, so now you have Snyder back on, and she's in a bit of a pickle right now.
She induced Snyder to fly to left. This one is in the air to right. Terrazas coming in, drops the ball. And a runner is going to score. Terrazas was coming for the ball, and Aguilar was going out, and I think Aguilar ran right through Terrazas' path, and it distracted her enough. The ball is dropped, and a runner is home.
Yeah, that's one of those tough plays where you're getting to the edge of the outfield. Terrazas coming in to try to get the ball, Aguilar going out. It's almost the no man's land, so to speak, because if you call off one person, maybe you're not able to get there in time. Thought that she had it, but it's a tough play to hang on to, and because of that, Christian Brothers reclaims the lead.
That was a long way to go to get that ball, and Terrazas looked like she had it, but perhaps distracted by her teammate Aguilar, who was also heading out on the play. The ball goes off the heel of Terrazas' glove, and a run is in, and it's a 3-2 ball game, and an error on the right fielder, and now the batter is Terrence Siegel. Siegel 1 for 2 in the game. She singled in the first, flew out to center field in the third. This one's in the air to right. Terrazas now fading towards the line. She's got a good beat on this one and will haul it in for the third out of the inning. But a run is home for Christian Brothers. They have a 3-2 lead. We move to the bottom of the fifth. And Casa Roble is going to be sending up Aguilar, Kanabi, and Aubert, the 1-2-3 hitters in the order.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to remind you that Play on Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us on Play on Sports, at Play on Sports, on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
That's right, folks. Get all the latest updates. Follow our Twitter feed. Watch the games live and on demand on YouTube or on our PlayOnSports.com site. A lot more great opportunities and games that we're going to be covering next fall. And when I say opportunities, folks, a mobile platform that is going to allow you to watch the games wherever you are around the world on your mobile device. A lot of great things coming your way, all for you, the fan at home. And we will have that all for you in the fall as well, so stay tuned for all of that. As coming to the plate, Aguilar, Kanabi, and Aubert looking to answer that one run that Christian Brothers put up in the top half of the fifth inning. It looked like they were out of the inning, but the miscommunication in right field results in a run. And Aguilar to the plate, where she is 1 for 2 and will take high ball 1. She has stolen a base after getting that infield single in the third inning and came around to score.
You could see Ali Aguilar, the leadoff hitter at the plate right now. She at least was showing bunt on that first pitch as the corner's playing in.
This one is going to be fouled off the catcher's mask. And the count is 1-1.
And I wonder with
Aguilas is fine. Excuse me, Jared.
No, that's fine. And I wonder with Coach Kanabi and Ali Aguilar, how much of them showing bunt on that first pitch is gamesmanship, and how much is it them really trying to bunt their way on base.
Aguilar's going to foul this one off. One of the things in softball that you see often from the left side that really only imitated at the major league level by perhaps Ichiro Suzuki is that running start and swing and slapping that ball into left field. The only guy before Suzuki you saw who did that was Brett Butler, the former San Francisco Giant and Los Angeles Dodger. This one's popped to the infield. The pitcher calling for it. Snyder's got it, and there's one out in the inning. But at the softball level, both high school and the pros, you see that quite frequently from the left-hand side. And the batter now is Mackenzie Kanabe. Kanabe has reached base twice in the game. Walked, stole a bag in the first, but was stranded at second base. Singled and scored in the third. 1 for 1. He's going to take high ball 1. The Casa Roble bench is really getting into it. This pitch is also high ball 2.
Yeah, and their fan base, the parents and the friends and all the people that have come in the area that we're kind of sitting at, they've been very boisterous throughout the day, too, for this Rams team.
This pitch is going to be in there for a strike, and the count's 2-1.
You could see it from our vantage point just out into the parking lot and along the street coming in, Longview Drive, just how much of an exciting time and busy place this has been today.
Nice bunt. It's going to be thrown into right field, and this is going to be 2 extra bases for Kanabe. She is hustling all the way to third and will get there, and then it's going to get away, but Kanabe's going to stick around. Nice job by the third baseman, Siegel, backing up the play. A 2-base error on the bunt by Siegel, who then makes a nice play on the backside to keep that from being all the way around the bases for Kanabe.
Yeah, you saw Siegel there to get the ball, back her up. She had Chilamitos backing her up. A smart move by Kanabe to stay on third base. That could have been trouble for her if she made that move trying to go home.
So an opportunity for Crystal Aubert, who has already taken advantage once with an RBI single in her last at-bat. Aubert has reached base twice as well. She walked in the first, singled, drove in a run, and even stole a base, but was stranded at second base in the third inning. But a big fly ball to the outfield or a base hit by Aubert, and we're all tied up at 3 again in the bottom of the 5th. This is a huge at-bat right here, especially for the pitcher Snyder. If she can record the out without the runner scoring, that eases some of the stress load when you go to face Caitlin Garcia in the 4th spot in the order.
And I think every at-bat going forward obviously will be the biggest moment of the game, but this might be the pivotal moment of the game. What happens with Aubert in this at-bat?
Here's the pitch. That's a little bit low. Ball 1. Kanabe down at third. A 3-2 Falcons lead. This one's popped in the air, playable for the catcher, and caught. Huge out. Hagelis, what a play. And there are 2 down in the inning.
You got your cleanup hitter, your pitcher, Garcia, coming to the plate now with 2 down and a runner on third.
Garcia walked in her last at-bat, also has popped out to third. The pitch. Strike 1. Caitlin Garcia. A single ties the ball game. The 0-1. In the air, left field, playable. And caught. Chilamitos. So the runner is stranded at third base. The side retired. The score remains 3-2 Christian Brothers. We go to the top of the 6th inning here on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports and the Sac-Joaquin section softball championships.
Folks, do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here today? Tell your school to sign up for the Play On Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
McKechnie, Hagelis, Nivens. They are your 3 hitters that are scheduled this inning for the Falcons, as Garcia out there for another inning of work. McKechnie 0 for 2, Hagelis 0 for 2, Nivens 0 for 2. And Casa Roble wants to get through this top half of the 6th and get back up there, but Christian Brothers doing a nice job holding Kanabe at third after that 2-base error.
That's amazing after that happening with one down in the inning because Aguilar couldn't get on, to have that single to go to right field, the error where she was able to make it all the way to third, and then to be able to hold off both Aubert and Garcia, Jeff, that's a great job by Christian Brothers, because that's a pressure point when you have a one-run lead with your season and a championship on the line, essentially, for them.
There are always critical plays in the game where if it goes another way or a player doesn't make a play, the game changes. And while the third baseman for Christian Brothers, Siegel, threw the ball away, if she doesn't back up the play, if she's moping or sulking and lets that ball get by her, Kanabe scores, we're tied at 3, and then Garcia is able to retire the next 2 hitters. So Kanabe made a bad play, but she stayed with the play and ultimately saved her team a run. The 1-0 delivery. Bounce towards short, a one-hopper, playable and quickly retired is McKechnie. 6-3 on the putout. There's one down.
And that's why in every sport, you said it, the saying that they always say is stay with it. Don't give up on the play, whether it's in softball running hard all the way to first base or just you make an error and staying with the play. You never know when that one moment is going to happen where if you either stay with a play or give up on a play, that might be the difference between you winning or losing a game.
Antonia Hagelis, the batter, the catcher, fouled off the first pitch 0-1. She is grounded out to third and bounced to the pitcher. 0 for 2. That one is going to be on the outside corner, strike 2. Amazingly, Garcia has not struck out anybody in the game. As well as she has pitched throughout this game, she has not struck anybody out and walked just one. This one's going to be fouled at the plate, and the count remains 0-2. Meanwhile, her counterpart, Haley Snyder, is struck out 6, but she's also walked 3.
Two contrasting styles of pitching. With Garcia, she's been playing more to contact and having her defense pick her up, whereas Snyder, as you mentioned, with the 6 strikeouts, being able to really get some of these batters out of the batter's box without any damage or any of the Rams getting on base.
Rise ball is high, 1-2. One down, we're in the top of the 6th inning. Hagelis steps back in, takes low.
Has this game flown by or what?
It certainly has. We're about an hour and 15 minutes into this one. We're in the top of the 6th. The pitch pulled down the left field line, foul. Nice job getting in front of that one and making contact, Hagelis, and it's 2-2. One of 3 different divisions we're covering today on PlayOnSports.com. You can even open up all 3 windows on your computer at home as this one's bounced in the dirt. Actually, I guess it was a 3-2 pitch. The count was 3-2, and Hagelis does a nice job drawing a walk. Don't know how I missed that one, folks. My apologies. Only the second walk of the game given up by Garcia. And there's a runner aboard with 1 down. You can open up 3 different windows with all of our games on your computer screen at home, folks. Watch all 3 at the same time. But no offense to my fellow broadcasters, mute the rest of them and listen to us as you're watching this game.
I second that motion.
But shh, folks, that's just between us. As getting ready to step in is Carly Nevins.
So it looked like you had Christian Brothers protest
or Casa Roble maybe
Casa
protest?
Roble, excuse me.
Yeah, I think I added it 2-2 as well, and the home plate umpire gave her the walk, and I thought I didn't realize I was wrong, and Casa Roble was backing us up here in the booth, Jared.
Yeah, I guess we were both
Casa Roble and we were surprised.
Very much so. So it looks like they are changing it back to
well, now we've got to designate a runner, a courtesy runner for the catcher. Kirsten Gruber is going to run for Hagelis. So she'll be the courtesy runner for the catcher. And now a conversation taking place between our umpiring crew to make a determination as to what the count was. We're not the official book up here, but I had Hagelis in a 1-2 count, and they're going to bring her back to home plate. So good job by the umpiring crew to get on the same page on that one, and the count is full. So Gruber will go back to the dugout. Hagelis still at the plate, and I am vindicated. And so, more importantly for Casa Roble and their fans, though, that call is corrected, and this one's going to be pulled foul down the left field line, and the count is 3-2.
I was going to say, as are the Rams fans, they were very boisterous about their feelings about the pitch count, and as it turns out, we were both right.
Well, now Hagelis can make them rue that by a sharp drive somewhere, and that's going to be ball 4. So the result is the same, though it was a correct call by the umpiring crew getting back together on that one. So now Gruber will come out and be the courtesy runner, and it's deja vu all over again. We got a runner at first base. Gruber back out there. It just took a little longer to get there, and there's one down in the inning. The batter is Carly Nivens. 0 for 2. She is grounded to short and popped to short. So if I am the shortstop, Ali Aguilar, I'm ready. Nivens is going to choke up. She's going to show bunt. She's going to bunt foul. Good idea by Nivens. On deck is Sydney Chilamitos.
Corners again playing in.
Here's the pitch. A little bit low on the outside half of the plate, 1-1.
We've seen that a lot, especially the past 2 innings, it seems like, from Garcia. She's really been trying to keep her pitches. I don't know if it's intentional or they're just going that way. A lot of low pitches.
This one's driven to left, back, and in the corner. That's going to be extra bases. And that could get a runner home. No, holding at third is Gruber. She's off the bag and is tagged out. Heads up play on the cut by the Rams, and Gruber coming around that bag, held up by Coach Clay, and is tagged out trying to get back. There are 2 down in the inning. The runner at second, Nivens the double.
Excellent job by Taylor to stay with it in the outfield. You have a potential play where you have a runner score, you could get discouraged. She got to that ball quick, got it to the cutoff, and a great throw by Ali Aguilar to get that ball to third base to gun her down.
Not the greatest read, and I think it's a tough left field right now with the afternoon sun here in Sacramento. But a good recovery. Here's a ball popped right side, and it's going to hit the fence. Foul ball. Good hustle by Marderos.
Yeah, because right now, it being in left field for Taylor, the sun is directly in her eyes. So, as you said, Jeff, not the best read initially, but she stayed with it, as we've mentioned, and finished the play.
Yeah, she didn't get a great break on the ball, but a good recovery. Here's a pitch outside, 1-1. And instead of having second and third and nobody out on the cut and the heads-up play, there's a runner at second and 2 out. Chilamitos at the plate. She's 0 for 2. Nice play in right field by Terrazas last inning. This one's going to be bounced to the shortstop on the second hop. Long throw. Retires Chilamitos, who makes 2 plays in the inning, but the big one is the overslide at third base. And it is still a 3-2 game, but it could be worse right now for Casa Roble as they move to the bottom of the 6th.
Folks, we'll have live coverage of the Sac-Joaquin Section Baseball Championships on Memorial Day, May 27th. Our Play on Sports crew will be at Sacramento City College for a triple header, so get your grill going at home and sit down and watch the games. Full day of coverage of baseball in the Sac-Joaquin section on Memorial Day. Brought to you by your home for high school sports, playonsports.com.
Casa Roble's got the 5, 6, 7 hitters in the order coming up here. Maya Reynolds, Kayla Marderos, and Sammy Aguilar to face Snyder. Snyder has been pitching well. That one blemish in the 3rd inning. Part of that, an error on the catcher, brought in 1 run. The other, a RBI single by Aubert, but Aubert had a runner at third with 1 out and popped to the catcher, and then a fly out to left field ended the 5th inning. So Kanabe was stranded at third base. Reynolds, who's going to be coming to the plate in a moment, struck out swinging in the first inning and then popped up on a bunt attempt in the third inning. She is 0 for 2. And in fact, the 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the order for Casa Roble are right now 0 for 10.
How crazy is that?
So it's all been the top of the order that's been productive for Casa Roble, but in the 6th and 7th innings, better late than never, an opportunity for the 5 through 9 hitters in the order for the Rams.
That's all you can ask for. Baseball is this, in the same sense as softball, is, you know, a game of opportunities. You're not going to get a hit the majority of the time as it averages out. You get into these later innings, all you need is that one time where you can get the barrel of the bat on the ball to change the game.
The 1-0. Right at the shortstop, and catching it with the heel of the glove is Shimasaka Marquez on her knees. And there is one out on the line out to short.
Perfect positioning for Aaliyah Shimasaka Marquez as the ball sliced directly to her. All she had to do was to get to the ground and gobble that one up for the first out of the inning.
Kayla Medeiros, 0 for 2, is going to pop this one foul behind home plate. Out of play, and it's 0-1. At first I didn't see where the ball went, but nobody was looking at me, so I wasn't figuring it was headed in our direction. It's one way to tell. Sometimes when you're playing the outfield, it's like that too. When you're having a tough sun, you can't see the ball. Are people looking in my direction? I better start moving.
Right.
Here's the 0-1. That is pop foul behind home plate, and it's 0-2 on Medeiros. Medeiros 0 for 2 in the game. Struck out swinging in the second, flew out to end the third inning. She flew out to left field, and she's in an 0-2 hole with one down. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3-2 Casa Roble. This pitch, strike 3 called. Painting the corner was Snyder for her 7th strikeout of the game.
Yeah, that's what Snyder's been able to do the entire game. Once she gets the count in her favor, she's been able to put away batters all night. It seems like going to the outside corner, going to the low pitches closer to the knees is a marvel from her.
And a one-hopper to the third baseman and a quick throw over, and the side is retired in the bottom of the 6th inning. We move to the top of the 7th inning. Christian Brothers trying to extend this to a second game. They're in good shape right now. They lead at 3-2.
Folks, we want to remind you while we have the chance to stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com postgame show, where we will select our player of the game. That's coming up immediately following the game on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
It'll be Anissa Maldonado, Lucia Lopez, and Aaliyah Shimasaka Marquez, the 3 hitters scheduled in the order for Christian Brothers in the top of the 7th inning. And just to keep an eye on things, folks, it's the 8-9-1 hitters for Casa Roble in the bottom of the 7th. So the key for the Rams here, keep it at 3-2 and see if minimally you can at least tie it up and force extra innings.
Yeah, that's the thing that you're going to have to do. You've played patient the entire game. You know what Snyder's been throwing. I guess the key is just to get that one run across and really put the pressure back on the Falcons to play the way they've played the entire game, which is relatively mistake-free.
Well, it's going to be difficult as Maldonado, Lopez, and Shimasaka Marquez, the 9-1-2 hitters in the order, of their 8 plate appearances going to this at-bat by Maldonado, they have reached base on 7 of them. This has been the most productive part of the order for Christian Brothers, that second leadoff hitter at the bottom, and Maldonado has played that to a T. A single, a walk, and she takes strike 1.
And that's something you've mentioned the entire game, that second leadoff hitter. They've really been the 3 players, in addition to Snyder, on the mound at least, that have really given Casa Roble some problems today.
This one's bounced foul, and the count's 0-2 on Maldonado. You can see the shadows starting to roll into the infield a little bit. And right now, Garcia is pitching out of that. So the ball is going to go through that dark patch just as she releases it and heads to the plate.
So you would think that would be advantage her, but again, these Christian Brothers hitters, they've had her number today.
The 0-2. Popped foul on a rise ball, well out of play. Nice job getting a bat on that one, Maldonado, and the count remains 0-2. Maldonado singled in the third and walked in the fifth. She has yet to score a run in the game. The 1-1, that is in the dirt, and it's 1-2.
So you see the Christian Brothers players, they're really starting to get excited coming down these last moments of the game for them here in the top half of the seventh inning.
Softball, more than any other sport, allows a lot of chatter from the dugouts. This one's fouled sharply beyond the third base dugout, and the count will stay 1-2. Teams will do cheers from the dugout. You really couldn't do that during a basketball game without getting a technical foul. I don't even think you could do that during a baseball game from the dugout without someone giving a talking to. Here's the 1-2. Popped in the air on the off-speed pitch. Calling for it is Garcia. She settles under it and makes the play. And retires Maldonado for the first time today. There's one out.
And, of course, it seems like with the other sports like soccer, you have so many of your players already out on the field, running around so much, you want to conserve your energy. And with football, you start cheering too much, you might get an earful from your own coaches.
Here is Lucia Lopez. First pitch towards the second baseman on a couple of hops. She's quickly retired. That's the second time today she's seen the first pitch and swung on it. Now 1 for 4 in the game, 2 down. And the batter is Shimasaka Marquez. She is 2 for 2. 2 singles in her last 2 at-bats. She walked in the first inning, stole a base, and came around to score. The first pitch, strike one. The 0-1. Laying off that one is Shimasaka Marquez. The count evens at 1-1. The Casa Roble fans not enamored with that call, but I think it might have been a little bit up. Garcia misses away.
So you see, for the most part, for this Casa Roble team, they're playing straight away.
That one's going to hit her.
And that's the last thing you want to have happen.
With 2 down, a hit batter. There's a runner on at first, and Snyder the batter. Snyder, 1 for 3, a 2 RBI single in the first inning. Got Christian Brothers way out in front early. Here's the pitch, outside, ball 1. And the other question is Shimasaka Marquez on the move?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering with that pitch. Was that more of obviously not an intentional pitch out, but the pitch out to see if she was going to play her hand?
This one, low and in.
You can tell on first base, Shimasaka Marquez, she's at least thinking about it right now, as she should. Get in scoring position, so that way you can really open up this lead as Snyder gets somewhat on the ball.
And it's going to be a fly out to second base to end the inning. So a runner is stranded, and we move to the bottom of the 7th, the last attempt for Casa Roble to win this one outright. We'll see if they're able to do it. You're following the action here on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
And, folks, just again, we want to remind you to be sure to stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com postgame show immediately following the conclusion of this game. We'll select our player of the game. That's immediately following the game on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
That's right, folks. If Christian Brothers holds on to win, this will go to a second game. So Jared and I will go immediately into our postgame show, select our player of the game, shut it down, and get ready for the game to follow. So tentatively scheduled to begin at 7:30, though, depending on how this last inning goes, it may be sooner than that. So I invite you to stay with us. Of course, Casa Roble fans hoping that it ends right here. They're going to have to do it with Caitlin Fogel, Jamie Taylor, the 8-9 hitters in the order, and then Allie Aguilar back to the top of the lineup to face Haley Snyder. And last-minute warm-ups by Christian Brothers. Oh for 2 on the day. Caitlin Fogel stepping in. The first pitch driven to left field. This could be in the gap. It's going to roll to the wall. Fogel's on her way to second. She's on her horse. Here's the throw. She's safe. Great start for Caitlin Fogel, who takes the first pitch she sees, drives it to the left center field gap. The first hit for the bottom half of the order, and a big one, a leadoff double.
Is there a better way to start off your bottom half of the inning, a chance to close out and outright win this Division II championship than to get the bat on the ball right there and get a sliding double to really put the pressure on Christian Brothers as we have a designated runner?
Lynn Coburn is going to bat for Jamie Taylor. Taylor finishes the day 0 for 2. The runner is going to be, is it Carrie Fogel? Hard to tell. She has her, the hair is covering her number on the back. I think it might be Fogel, however. In the meantime, the first pitch, a bunt, foul. The count is 0-1.
Both the infield and the outfield playing in, as they don't want to let any slap hits get down.
Bunt is down. It's going to roll foul, and it's 0-2. So back to second base goes the runner, and the count 0-2. And now what does Coburn do? A runner already in scoring position. The delivery. That's going to be high. Nice job by Coburn staying away from that pitch, and the count's now 1-2. So the tension has been ratcheted up here on Field 1 at the Sacramento Softball Complex. The 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and that's a big out for Christian Brothers, 1 down in the inning. But now to the top of the order. The batter is Allie Aguilar. Aguilar had an infield single, sandwiched around a couple of outs. She's flied out to left and popped out to the pitcher. She's stolen a base, scored a run, 1 for 3. Don't think she's going to be bunting here. Base hit is probably going to score a runner at second base. Mackenzie Kanabe in the on-deck circle. This pitch, strike 1. It almost seems like after that double by Fogel that Snyder is bearing down even more, Jared, than she was before.
Yeah, the intensity is picked up, the focus.
That pitch is outside.
She's really making sure to stay away from these hitters' hot zones and give them anything they can rip to the outfield.
The 1-1. Fouled away. 1-2.
And it's been no secret to see what Allie Aguilar has been trying to do this entire game. She's just trying to get enough of the bat on the ball to get that go to the opposite field, get out to right field, give her runner a chance.
The tying run is at second base. This one is high, 2-2. The winning run is at home plate.
Stakes are high here for Snyder, excuse me.
The 2-2 pitch. Inside, the count is full. Christian Brothers fans don't like it, but that's a good call. It was just inside and up. Full count, runner at second, 1 down. Outfield is playing. Aguilar slightly to right. left. The pitch is driven towards the center fielder, and it's going to be off her glove, and it's going to roll to the wall. Are they going to send her? Here comes the throw. It's going to be a tie ball game.
Remember what we were talking about earlier, Jeff, about never giving up on a play. It looked like Lucia Lopez, as she went for that ball, had a chance to get it, went just off the tip of her glove and got away from her. But you noticed both Lopez and both Lopez and Chilamitos both kind of put their head down a second as if to say, I can't believe I let that happen, instead of keeping the play going. And that allowed the Rams to get a run across and tie this game.
And a runner at second base is Aguilar. So now it's Mackenzie Kanabe, who has singled, reached on an error, and walked. She scored a run and stolen a base. 1 for 2. They may try to walk her here and get the force out at any base. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. Honestly, if I was the manager in this situation, I'd either think about either pitching around her or doing that just outright, 4 pitches.
Strike 1. Aubert is in the on-deck circle, however.
And she's done some damage today.
She has 1 for 2, a walk and a run driven in, along with a stolen base. 0-1, 1 out. That is going to be strike 2. The winning run is at second base.
You can see this Rams crowd, this predominantly loud and very boisterous crowd, starting to ratchet up their cheers for the team they love.
This one is slapped down the line off the glove of the third baseman. Aguilar is going to stay where she is. That's going to be an infield single for Kanabe, so runners at first and second. No damage done for Christian Brothers, however. They just have the force out. But the batter is Aubert.
And that's not the worst thing to have happen for Christian Brothers, is Siegel, she was able to stay with the ball, didn't let it get behind her so Aguilar could advance to third. Now you have a situation, yes, with runners on first and second, but as you mentioned a couple moments ago, Jeff, you have a force now anywhere you go.
From the shadows, the pitch, Snyder. Strike 1. Aubert and Snyder have split on their 2 meetings so far with runners in scoring position. Aubert won the first battle, drove in a run. Snyder won the second, got her pop to catcher. Now, with 1 down and runners at first and second, Aubert can win this game with 1 swing of the bat. The 0-1 is high. It's going to get by the catcher, and everyone's going to move up. And now the winning run is at third base, and all it takes is a sacrifice fly.
You can see the demeanor on Snyder's face starting to change a little bit, as if to almost feel it might be slipping away from her. She was so confident going through those first 6 innings.
Well, the defense failing her a little bit. An error on the center fielder, now a pass ball. Here's the 1-1. In the air, foul. Boy, Aubert was looking for a sacrifice fly right there, and she wants that one back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It would be a huge out right here for Snyder if she can retire. Aubert on strikes, Garcia on deck. Worst case for Christian Brothers, best case for Christian Brothers, they're going to extra innings. But only 1 out. And runners at second and third. The 1-2, way outside, 2-2. Good idea. See if you can get Aubert fishing. Casa Roble looking for the title. Tantalizingly, that title is merely at third base. It's so close and yet so far. The pitch, fouled away.
McKechnie playing in at first base. You wonder now with the 2 strikes on her if she just goes back to her normal positioning.
Well, if the ball's hit to that right side,
that might be
Aguilar could go for it. So McKechnie's going to stay in. Cut that run off at the plate. Then you take a couple steps back and tag the bag.
And I think that's the right way to go.
From the shadows again, Snyder. Outside, full. You do have first base open. So if you don't want to give Auburn anything good to hit, you can load them up and see if you can get a force out with Garcia at the plate, who is hitless in the game.
And I think if you are the pitcher, it's a tough situation, but you go low.
This one is in the air. It's going to be fouled out of play behind the first base dugout.
And that's what I was thinking. Go low and inside. Maybe try to jam her and have a situation where you get out of that situation unscathed with not unscathed, but with a runner not loading the bases.
The count is full. There is one out in the inning. The winning run is at third. You can't ask for much more than this in a championship softball game.
Is this a great way to end the softball, a beautiful day of softball, or what, Jeff? And this crowd is into it.
The pitch. In the air, well out of play, foul. That's the other thing, too. If you are the left fielder, Chilamitos, if the ball is hit foul deep into your area, it's probably best to let that go. You could make the play for the second out, but that's going to get the runner in on the tag.
Exactly.
So that's something else to think about if you're Chilamitos out there and left is, boy, if this ball's in foul territory and I can make a play on it, I'm just going to let it fall to the ground, because if I catch it, the ball game is over. Aguilar's going to run.
Or if I try to make a play on it and miss, the ball game's over. So I agree with you. If it's clearly foul, you let that thing go.
That's right. If it hits your glove and you drop it, then the ball's in play. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 4.
So isn't it interesting, Jeff, with the game on the line, the season on the line for Christian Brothers, that these two pitchers would be going head-to-head with a title on, all waiting for them.
Garcia is 0 for 2. She has walked. She's popped out to third and flied out to left. And she will take a fly out to left right here with Aguilar on third. Sacks full of Rams. Here's the pitch. That one is low, ball 1. Nowhere to put anybody right now if you're Snyder. Nice grab by the catcher there. Hagelis going low. That ball almost got away from her.
And that's a tough spot. She's been able to play pitches off the plate or play the corner so well. She can't afford to miss in this spot.
This one's up the middle, and that's going to win the ball game for Casa Roble. Caitlin Garcia with the game-winning hit and gives herself the win and Casa Roble the championship. What a comeback by the Rams.
Amazing finish to this game by the Casa Roble Rams as they were able to overcome that early 2-0 deficit. Christian Brothers got off to such a fast start, playing so aggressive, but the Rams, using that bottom of the 7th, bases loaded, and of course the pitcher, Caitlin Garcia, who got roughed up early, was the run to put the nail in the coffin to her adversary of Haley Snyder with the game on the line and giving Casa Roble the Division II championship.
That is only the 6th hit on the part of Casa Roble, but it is the biggest one of the game, and wow, what a finish. Garcia wins it for the Rams. And we don't have to go right into the post-game show, Jared, so we're going to take a quick break here on PlayOnSports.com. We'll be back with more in just a few moments. Casa Roble, your winner, 4-3.
get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. Oh, we're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. Oh, we're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3, beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.